What's going on, everybody? MVP Collectables back here again today with another chat for you guys. And today I thought I would go over some if you're a new collector out there, some things that I've picked up on throughout the years. I've been collecting now since, I don't know, I could look back June 2016, I think, something like that. 2.5, 3 years, something like that. So just some stuff for new collectors out there. Chris, the Batman statue collector, came out with one of these. His video is probably a lot better than mine. Do note that I will I might get off topic a little bit. I like to, my mind will wander and I'll just start talking about random shit. So if I do start ranting about something or something, I'll try to get back to it as quick as I can. But so yeah, so I would say the number one thing about if you're just getting into this hobby is it can be very overwhelming, because there's so many companies, there's so many different statues. I would say your number one rule: have a focus. So what I mean by that is you would only get DC. You would only get Marvel. Or something as if, let's say you want to get Hot Toys and statues like I do. Like my rule is no movie statues. I get movie Hot Toys. Sorry, the camera's gonna shake because it's on my computer, so whatever. I do apologize if that happens. But so I get all my comic book accurate stuff. The only one that isn't that is the two behind me. I do have the Dark Knight, Joker, and Batman PFs. Those were my first two statues, so that is the main reason that is. After that, I just go, nope, that's it. Just because that's just too much of a rabbit hole, you know. I could get the new Aquaman, DCEU PF, you know, but no. Why get that for $600 when you could get the Hot Toy for $220? You know, so things like that. You don't need a focus, but if you're just beginning and you go, okay, it's the same thing as, let's say you go into a candy store, okay, and you're a kid, okay, or you're an adult, whatever, it doesn't matter the age, and you go, I want that candy, that candy, that candy, that candy, that candy, and that candy, and that candy. That's just not going to work. And statues are a lot more expensive than a bowl of chocolate, you know? So what I would say is, instead of going, I want that, and that, go in and go, okay, all of the non-chocolate candy is already eliminated. Get my point? So, or the other way, all the chocolate is eliminated. I would say the easiest way to do that with is only Marvel, only DC. Now, if you have the budget to do both, great. And if you want to say, okay, I'm only going to get core Justice League for DC and core Avengers for Marvel, okay? Something like that. I mean, I'm not telling you guys what you have to do. It's your collection. If you want to get anything, you can. I'm just saying, from my point of view, the best way, if you have a limited budget, limited space. I don't have that big of a space. I don't have a lot of fucking money. I say I'm probably in the middle, maybe a little bit below the middle of how many statues I get a year. I get 5 to 8 statues a year. So, however you want to look at that. Some people get like 50. So, I mean, and then other people get 1 or 2. I would say I'm towards the lower end of that, getting 5 to 8. But then again, a lot of those people that do get that many sell a lot. I have sold 2 statues. My Dorkside PF, my Superman PF. I have no plans on selling another one. If I do, it's going to be this, my least favorite statue by 4, and that's going to be that Aquaman PF down there. Anyone who's watching this video, he's got small breaks in the water. Besides that, he's perfect. $250 and he's yours. So if you want him, leave a message or leave a comment, something like that. But back to this. Again, back to my candy store analogy. Do whatever you want to do. But I have several rules that I'm trying very hard not to break, and I'll go over those rules right now so you guys know what I do in order to stop me doing, ooh, shiny, let me get it, ooh, I want that, ooh, I want that. So, very easy, the number 1 overarching rule I have, no Marvel unless your name is Thanos. So, what that means is, I do not buy anything Marvel brand related unless it's a Thanos hot toy. My first ever collectible was the Guardians of the Galaxy Thanos. You know, the one on the throne, the hot toy. I got him off Amazon, okay? $450, whatever it was. I have the Thanos Infinity War on order. He's actually the next collectible that's due to come into my collection. He's supposed to come next month. So, that's my overarching one. And then I have a couple lesser ones, like the one I already mentioned. Movies, hot toys, comics, statues. Fairly simple. You then also have another rule, probably my last rule. I'm going to stop saying rule because I know I can't pronounce it. I do apologize. And that is no doubles. Now, this is the one that's a little bit iffy right now because I've already broken it. I have the Wonder Woman PF, and I will get the Wonder Woman New 52. I also technically have 2 Jokers with the Dark Knight one and then the comic, the new PF that just came out. I have both of those. Now, the big one of this that I'm trying to avoid is I'm like this close to getting the new comic Deathstroke, the 1/3 scale by Prime 1. The problem with that is, if you guys can see behind me, I already have a 1/3 scale Deathstroke. Again, I apologize for the camera. So I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. If soon it's that Sideshow's website says low stock, I think I will go ahead and bite the bullet and buy it, and then payment plan it 9 months out. But those are my 3 big rules. One of them is a little bit Two of them, movie, you know, those are set in stone. Now, so that is what I'm going to say about that. Have a focus. Now, if you don't want to have a focus and you just want to buy what you love, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, go for it. I will say, if you do that, you will probably be selling a decent amount of stuff, because you will say, you will buy something, you'll get it in, and then something else will come out that's even better, but you don't have the budget. Okay? Now, the reason I sold my other 2 was because I have the entire New 52 collection, and in that collection, there is a Superman and a Darkseid. Okay? Now, I did order the Batman PF, and the Superman PF, and I ended up canceling those. The reason I didn't end up canceling my Wonder Woman PF was 2 reasons. One was that she looked spectacular in the prototype. It looked insane. She didn't come out quite as good. She's still pretty freaking good though. But the second main reason is my main PF statue focus right now is DC females. I have Harley Quinn, I have Huntress, I have Power Girl, I have Zatanna, and I have Wonder Woman. I also have Red Sonja, which isn't DC, kind of. I don't know. I also have that statue. I have Poison Ivy, and I have Batgirl, or not Batgirl. I have Poison Ivy, and I have Catwoman on order. And I'm not going to get Batgirl because I don't like the new one. I came very close today. Today is the day that Chris, Batman Tattoo Collector, put up a lot of his PFs for sale. I was very close to actually buying it. I actually sent him a message on Facebook, and then someone else stepped in and said they want to buy it, and I was like, I don't have the money right now, so that's why I didn't. But it also isn't the exclusive. So those are, because I do want, eventually I want the old Batgirl. I definitely want, the one I probably will get before anyone else is the Black Canary, because I am getting the Green Arrow PF. But so that's what's going on. That's what my collection's like. So that's the main reason I did buy that Wonder Woman. Now we're going to get into the statue companies. Now, if you're brand new to this field, there is several statue companies, and then there's one granddaddy of them all. I will start with that one, and that one, of course, is Sideshow. If you are getting into this business and you've never heard of Sideshow, you've probably been sleeping under a goddamn rock. Sideshow is the biggest statue. Technically, I don't know if it's the biggest statue company in the world. I'm not going to say that. It's the biggest statue company in the U.S., okay? And what makes Sideshow so unique is that they are one of the biggest distributors of pieces. For those that don't know what that means, it means that they take statues made by other companies and then they sell them here in the U.S. So Sideshow is so big because they make their own stuff and they also distribute. So the companies they distribute for, the biggest one's going to be Prime 1, followed secondly probably by Iron Studios, and then Tweedlehead. You also get one that KO, some other one, a smaller one. They're not smaller, but smaller scale. So they distribute all of those companies. We will get to those companies in a couple minutes after I'm done with Sideshow. But Sideshow, their biggest thing they make is called premium format figures. We will get into that later on, but just note that that is going to be the biggest statue company, Sideshow Collectables. They are everything. They are massive. I don't know technically how big of a company they are, but whatever. So you can purchase things through Sideshow's website. I have ordered everything through Sideshow's website except for 2 things. As I already mentioned, Guardians of the Galaxy Thanos hot toy, and then my my Power Girl statue I got from William Perdomo, I believe is how you pronounce his name, a seller off of the Facebook forums. He was great, fantastic seller, sent me videos, fantastic, shout out to him. So if you ever he sells a bunch of stuff, so if you ever buy anything from him, don't be worried because he's great. But those 2 things. So everything else I got from Sideshow. Sideshow's great to work with. They've had some site issues lately, and there's an issue now with them not getting Prime 1 stuff up, but we're not going to get into that right now. Moving on from the granddaddy of them all, we get into probably It's close between them and XM, but probably Prime 1 is the next biggest statue company. They, of course, are distributed by Sideshow, and they are based over in, I believe, Singapore. It might be Shanghai, or it's Singapore. I don't know exactly where their headquarters are. I know their factories are in China. So they are really popular right now because of their quality. The quality of Prime 1 Studios, guys, except for the Flash. So the two statues behind me here, those two, not those two, but those two, or Prime 1. They're the best, dude. They're just fucking spectacular. Moving on from Prime 1, and Prime 1's probably my favorite statue company. I think they're the best statue company out there. But moving on from them, you get into XM Studios, and XM is unique because XM is the biggest competitor to Sideshow in the fact that Sideshow does not distribute XM pieces. So yeah, a lot of XM Studios pieces you cannot buy in the United States of America. Do note, one of their biggest lines is their DC-16 scale, which we will get to further in the video. But that is actually, you can buy worldwide. So that's a little bit unique in that way. But all their Marvel stuff, you can't. Moving on from XM, and XM is also known for like their shipping, their quality of boxes, those kinds of things. They're really well known for that. They are their quality has dipped. I've heard. I don't own an XM piece. I've always wanted to own one XM piece, mostly for the unboxing, but that's beyond the point. So that's XM. XM. The problem with XM is the shipping, because to get it from China over to here or whatever is kind of crazy. So there's that. Moving on, you get into Ion Studios, and Ion Studios is from Brazil. I believe their factories are in Brazil as well, and they are great. They kind of sprang up into the scene about a couple of years ago with a couple of their 1/3 scale statues. They are known for their 1/3 scale and their 1/10 scale. We will get into all of that later in the video. But yeah, they are also distributed by Sideshow, so you can purchase all their shit on Sideshow as well. Moving on from Ion Studios, you get into the last one I'm going to feature in this video, and that's going to be Tweederhead. Tweederhead is definitely smaller than the other 4 that I had previously mentioned. They are also distributed by Sideshow, and I don't know where they're based. I know I've seen their owner before on one of the on one of Brotherhood of the Bat, YouTube video things, something like that. And they're smaller. They do their biggest main line right now is their DC. I think it's 1/5 scale, 1/6 scale line. So yeah, those are going to be the main companies in this hobby. Again, Sideshow's by far the biggest. They have great customer service. You also have PCS, which now I'm blanking on what it even stands for. It stands for something. I'm blanking on it. They were just like kind of, I don't know if they were bought by Sideshow or they had partnership with Sideshow, but they had a bunch of issues with production. They ended up customer service issues, all that shit. So now Sideshow distributes all their stuff exclusively, I believe. They are most famous for their Mortal Kombat stuff and things like that. Moving on from that, we're now going to get into the main source of this video. This will probably take the longest time. This video, by the way, guys, this video will be very long. Minimum probably 40 minutes. So just that you guys know. And we're now going to get into statue terms. statue sizes and statue prices. I did not mean for that to rhyme. Now, we will start on the smallest scale and work our way up. Do note for these prices, they are not exact. I estimated them out, so do note they're not an exact science. We're going to start with 1/10 scale statues. 1/10 scale statues, as it would probably state, or smallest small scale statues. They are anywhere between $80 to $300. Why I'm saying that is because there's an $85 one on Iron Studios website. There's also a $270 one. So those prices differ on the different statue. As I just mentioned, Iron Studios is one of the only companies that is making these. Their 1/10 in Avengers Infinity War collection, they made almost all of the Infinity War pieces. That collection is insane. And then they're making a Lord of the Rings 1/10 scale, which I'm finding so fucking hard to avoid. Lord of the Rings is my favorite movie trilogy of all time. I think the greatest achievement in cinematic history is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King Extended Edition. I could go on all day about those movies. I won't, but I'm trying very hard not to. But when you have a Frodo Baggins statue for $95, it's very fucking tempting. When you have a Gandalf statue for $120, it's very fucking tempting. Especially since the Hot Toys I buy are $220. It's very tempting. So that's going to be 1/10 scale. Again, mostly known by Iron Studios. You can buy them on, and 1/10 scale. It all depends on the size of the character, on the size of them. I know that I think Frodo's like 6-7 inches tall, and the 1/10 scale Thanos from Infinity War's like not 18. I think he's like, God, he's not 18. He's like 13, maybe 14. I know Hulkbuster's 15, so I think he's a little bit smaller than Hulkbuster. But yeah, that's gonna be 1/10 scale, guys. There's not really a phrase or a nickname for 1/10 scale, which I will get into later on. A couple of the little higher ones have different names that other different companies call them. 1/6 scale. 1/6 scale, or probably the most famous 1/6 scale anything, probably Hot Toys. So almost all of Hot Toys, everything Hot Toys makes, or 1/6 scale. I didn't mention Hot Toys in my statue companies because they don't make statues. They make figures. So I'm going to go into a little bit more depth into Hot Toys right now. Hot Toys are great. They're great. But I have issues with them. Okay. You know what? I'm not even gonna mention my issues because it could go on forever. I have an issue with their hands. I have an issue with some of the way that they stand, but their face sculpts. Still, my favorite face sculpt out of any collectible I own is the Will Smith Deadshot. It looks the most like any character I have. I know that my comic book ones aren't based off of, like, they don't have an exact reference to go off of, so it's a little bit not fair, but still, it's mesmerizing. But so Hot Toys makes, I might get a lot of flack for this, blow up on me in the comments. Hot Toys are fancy Barbies. They are. Now, do note, there's a lot of engineering that goes into them. There's a lot of different aspects of different ways to get them going, like ways like to cover up Superman's suit, you know, things like that. Wonder Woman especially, her body, like there's no, a lot of Hot Toys you can see the pegs or the arm things, joints. Wonder Woman doesn't have any of those. So those are a little bit different because those I do understand are a little bit more tricky to do. However, like I saw Shazam a couple days ago, and I went with a buddy who doesn't buy Hot Toys because he told me he'd be afraid to even touch them. And no offense to Hot Toys, but I was like, like, because for example, I have Hot Toys the other day that fell down. I got pissed. One of them broke. I tried to glue her hair back on, and the glue went all over her face. It's very small. It's very translucent. You can see right through the glue, but it's right on her forehead. And I go, yeah. For those of you who want to know which one it is, it's the Harley Quinn Suicide Squad Hot Toy. I'm like, eh. And I still haven't put those up. I was so mad. I just set them up top next to my, anyone who watched my statue or my room tour, you know exactly where they are. They are up on my thing, kind of, you know, like up there. I'm just like, fuck it. So that's kind of my way of thinking about Hot Toys. Certain Hot Toys I like more than others. So I'm going to move the camera here just for a second. I think that setup is insane. Okay, my Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, I love that setup up top. Okay, so if Wonder Woman's arm would break, I have 3 Wonder Woman, but still, I would be a little bit more pissed. You know, things like that. My Harley Quinn and my Joker are kind of bottom tier of my Hot Toys. This is a lot of talking. Sorry, guys. So yeah, that's Hot Toys. They're known, you know, they do almost all movies, video games, but they also do 1/4 scale stuff. They don't only do 1/5 scale. They do 1/4 scale stuff. A great example of that is the Heath Ledger Joker 1/4 scale. They're 1/4 scale Batman Begins. I was very close to getting those, actually. I was this close. But, again, no doubles, movie, and I already have those 2. I would have probably sold those 2 if I would have ended up getting them, but they both equaled $1,000, so I'm just like, fuck it. Moving on from that, you get into 1/5 scale. 1/5 scale, oh, sorry, go back. Sorry, I forgot. Another 1/6 scale in the line that's gotten a lot of attention is going to be the XM Studios 1/6 scale DC line. These will be smaller scale statues, but still with a good fingerprint, and they're making a ton of DC ones. Okay? They're making almost the entire Justice League. Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Flash, Green Lantern, I think Green Lantern, Aquaman. Their Aquaman one's really cool. He's fucking riding a fucking seahorse. You heard me right. All of those. They're also making the Joker. I think they're hopefully they're making Harley Quinn. I don't know that for a fact. But the reason those are cool is because they're $600 to $800. So the price range for 1/6 scale or 200 to, again, 800. The average price of a Hot Toy is about $235, $250, depending on the amount of gadgets it comes with, things like that. My Thanos is a little bit more. That one's $376. I don't know why they discovered, oh, we shouldn't go $375. We should go $376. Whatever. I don't fucking know. take my money. So that's the 800, 700, 800 is for those is for the Joker. I believe the Joker XM1 is because that base is really unique. Things like that. I think that one's like 760. Again, and also the XM pieces, they come with the same incredible packaging, things like that. So yeah, that's going to be the 1/6 scale figures or statues. Moving on up, we're going to get into the 1/5 scale. 1/5 scale, the most famous lines of that is going to be the Avengers Assemble line that Sideshows come out with. Of course, that has all the main Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, Wasp, and they just unveiled a couple months ago they're going to be doing a Black Panther. They're going to be doing a Black Widow. So that's that line. Also, you're going to have the DC animated line, I believe is also 1/5. Those are going to run you from 250 to 600, depending on which statue you get. Again, that's not an exact science. I don't know that for sure, but I would say that's going to be your biggest range there. Now, this is the least. I'm not gonna say least popular. There's less of 1/5 scale than I think any other. 1/5 scale, 1/6 scale. 1/5 scale is kind of funky because you can go anywhere with it. 1/5 scale is anywhere between, I'd say, 11 inches to 20 inches, depending on the character. I know that the Hulk in the Avengers Assemble is like 19. The Wasp is like 13, I think, maybe a little bit more. Do note that the 1/6 scaled stuff is almost going to be always anywhere from 10 to 14. Almost all Hot Toys, unless your name is Thanos, is 12. So back to 1/5 scale. 1/5 scale is really cool because a cool thing about 1/10 through 1/5 scale is that you can fit more things into your collection if you collect that line. Or lines of 1/5 scale, 1/6 scale, whatever. You know, there's a lot of differences between those, between the ones that we're going to get to and the next one's the granddaddy of them all. We'll get to that in just a second. But overall, I don't have any 1/5 scale. I don't have any 1/10 scale. I do have Hot Toys. Those are all going to be 1/6 scale. Overall, they're pretty cool. Now, the granddaddy of them all, and that is 1/4 scale statues. Now, 1/4 scale statues is the first statues where we get terms. So I will go over the terms first. If you hear premium format, 1/4 scale. Simple as that. Sideshow calls their 1/4 scale statues premium format figures. So if you see a picture of the Rogue, I think Rogue's, yeah, Rogue. No, is she a maquette? Whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. Premium format. Green Arrow, premium format, 1/4 scale. 1/4 scale, I would say, can go from 15 inches to 28 inches. The tallest 1/4 scale. Okay. Let me rephrase that, because I just realized I have a 1/4 scale in my own fucking collection that's bigger than that. 1/4 scale goes from 15 inches to 32. There you go. The biggest 1/4 scale I have still ever seen in my entire collection, in the industry, is that? That's a fucking Coke can, people. That, of course, is the 1/4 scale Dorkside. So yeah, they can, and they also have the biggest difference in prices. Okay, so premium formats can run you $350 to $9. I'm gonna say $800 for PFs, premium format figures. Now, there's a difference between premium format figures, and that's from Sideshow. Then there's also something that Sideshow also makes called maquettes. Now, these can be a little bit confusing, so try to pay attention. Maquettes, or anything Sideshow wants to go, make it more expensive. We're going to call it a fucking maquette. Okay. Pause the video if you do not want to hear me rant. You still with me here? Here we go. Maquettes are fucked. That's literally what I just said is what maquettes are. They put something more into it that they don't really want to tell us. And they can say it's a maquette and not a PF, and they can make it $800. Okay. Now, why I'm getting so mad about this is because there's a little statue that I did a preview for a little bit about a couple days ago called the Juggernaut Maquette. Why am I so mad about the Juggernaut Maquette? I'm not buying it. Again, I don't buy Marvel. But it's $1,390. Yeah. $1,390. Okay. Why am I so freaked out about this? If you haven't seen this piece, it's cool. It's big. It's a great statue. I'm not nagging the statue. I'm nagging the fucking price. You see the two statues behind me? You see those? They were both under $1,000. They are bigger, height-wise, than Juggernaut. They're not as big depth-wise, and I don't know. I'd assume they're as big width-wise because they're very this way. They're very wide. Okay. Now, my Dorkside is bigger in every aspect. Width, height, depth. I measured. He's bigger in every single way than their Juggernaut maquette. He's less expensive. And something else to keep in mind here, guys, is this. Sideshow is known for having QC issues. What are QC issues? Quality control issues. What's quality control? A smudge of paint on the statue's foot, like happened to one of mine. A statue arrives broken. That's not quality control because that's packaging, so that's not quality control. But a weird looking eye, quality control. Something like that, anything that's not supposed to be there on the statue, quality control. Sideshows has issues with that. Prime 1 doesn't. Prime 1 is also better at Sideshow at almost every aspect of making a fucking statue. Paint, better. Sculpt, almost always better. Price, well, now they're less fucking expensive. I just don't understand why Sideshow has to make that so fucking expensive. 1/4 scale pieces can go in range, like I just said, 15 to 32 inches. They can also run you anywhere from 350 to 1,500. Now, they can say Juggernaut's 1/3 scale. They're not going to do that. Now, certain statues they can just put maquette on and everyone will go start bowing down to it. Oh, it's a maquette. The only reason it's a maquette is so they can make it more expensive. Anyone that doesn't believe that is fooling themselves. That's the reason they call it a maquette, is so they can make the price $800. Premium formats are also going way up in price. When I first started this, my first comic book statue I ever bought was the original Superman PF. He was fucking $350. And then the idiots at Sideshow, 2 months after I bought it, raised him to $450. Why? Because they can? I'm sorry, it's kind of fucked. It's kind of fucked. Sorry, it's kind of fucked. And they keep going up. Right now, a lot of them are in the high 500s, 580, 560, 585. My most expensive PF was my Joker 640. You know, I'm just getting sick of it. Sideshow, please get these prices under control. Please. There's a joke going around right now that their Gladiator Hulk is going to be $2,000, which would be ridiculous. I just feel bad for the people that are collecting the X-Men line, because the Juggernaut is part of an X-Men line, and 2 of the X-Men statues cost you $2,000. 4 out of my 5. I could get 4 or 5 of my DC statues, and it would make probably $2,200. It's just unfair. At this point, it's just getting unfair. But I know I've gone on this 1/4 scale way too long. We're now going to be done with that. And we're going to get into the good shit, which, of course, is Prime 1's bread and butter, 1/3 scale statues. 1/3 scale statues can run you anywhere from $1,000 or $800 to $2,000. Okay? The least expensive ones are the ones that have been out for a long time. They're on Prime 1's website. They're $8.99, things like that. And those are probably going to be the Batman Arkham series, a couple of those. And those things are going to run you, and those things are going to be normally 30 inches or more. 28 is the smallest I've seen. 28 to 40, I would say. So those statues are awesome. Prime 1 Studios is the most famous company for making them. You also have Iron Studios that makes a whole bunch, or makes a bunch of DC ones as well, including a very cool Hawkman statue that they just released. And those things are awesome. I have 2. I'm getting a 3rd. With Deathstroke, I might be getting a 4th. With my other Deathstroke, if I decide to pull the trigger on that. They are centerpieces of people's collection. They won't be mine. The centerpiece of my collection will be my 1/4 scale DC stuff. Followed by my standalone Lobo. Because it fucking comes with goddamn motherfucking Space Dolphins. If there was a mic, I would fucking drop it. That shit is the shit. Again, that's 1/3 scale, massive, 34 inches tall, 39 with the gun. We won't get into Lobo because I can go on all fucking day. But those are going to be 1/3 scale. The most famous 1/3 scale line is probably still the Orcam series line, which is technically what both of those are behind me. Over here, those are both part of the Orcam line. Orcam, they're both actually Orcam Origins. I thought very hard and long about getting the 1/3 scale Flashpoint Batman. I actually had the money, and it was in my shop, and it was actually in my court. I was literally about to hit buy, and I was asked to take out the trash. That's an actual story. And he was in stock, and if I would have hit buy, I couldn't have gone back. And good thing I didn't buy him. I'll leave it at that. I'm grateful because I wouldn't have the space. And that money went to the Joker and Holy PMs. So that's 1/3 scale. Those are going to be the main scales. The main scale easily is made. Every statue company makes 1/4 scale. 1/4 scale is the creme de la creme. XM Studios is most famous. Sideshow PF premium formats. XM Studios makes a ton of 1/4 scale as well. Those guys are going to be, that's the main statues, 1/4 scale. Statue companies want to make 1/4 scale. Sideshow controls 1/4 scale United States shit for everything, which sucks, but whatever. Now we get into half scale. 1 second, I guess, or no one calls it that. Everyone just calls it half scale. Half scale, of course, would be half of a human. They're normally 35 to 45 inches tall. Prime 1 makes a lot of their horror stuff. The Nun, It 2, Pennywise, those things, half scale. Those are going to be a lot more expensive. $1,800 to $3,000. They're really fucking cool. Okay, Sideshow calls all of their half scale stuff legendary scale. So if you ever looking on Sideshow's website and come across legendary scale, that's half scale, 35 to 50 inches tall. Very few of them do know it will be 50. They're normally between 40 to 45, depending on the character. Again, you gotta have a massive budget. You gotta have a massive space. All that shit. Those, again, 1,800 to 3,000. I don't believe XM makes any half scale. I don't believe Iron Studios makes any 1/5 scale. Do note that Tweeterhead makes a lot of 1/5 and some 1/6. So I completely forgot about them. They actually do make those. And they're pretty fucking cool. Their 1/5 DC stuff's pretty cool. Moving on to the last one. Life size. Exactly what it sounds like. Most famous life size is the Star Wars life size lines. Yoda, Darth Vader. Oh my god, not Jango Fett. His son. Oh my god. Boba? It's not Boba Fett? Jesus, what the fuck? I'm blanking. That, shoot me. How the fuck do I forget that? And those things are massive. They're life size. 68 to 75 inches. Darth Vader's 78. And they're 8 to 12. They're like 7.5 to $12,000. That's the end of my sheet. I would never ever fucking even think about it. I would never get... If you hear that I buy a 1/2 scale anything or a life size anything, find me and beat me up. Because I mean, Jesus. Okay. When I first started, I'm going to be wrapping this video up. I'm keeping this video under 1 hour. I promised myself I would, so I'm going to be wrapping shit up. Trust me. However, when I first started, I literally remember where I was when I hit buy on Thanos. My first ever major collectible. I had tons of action figures before, shit like that, but my first, real thing. I was working at it. I was an usher at a movie theater. I'm now a manager at the same movie theater, but whatever. And I was waiting for... I forget what... It was a kid's movie. Inside Out. It may have literally been Inside Out. And I go to one of my buddies who was standing next to me. I go, hey, dude, look at this. Look what I just found. And he goes, oh, dude, that's sweet. And he made the joke. He actually said you should buy it. And to this day, I blame him for my statue obsession. I blame him I'm spending this much money. Because you know what I did? I bought it. And he left the theater before I did. And I walked after him and I go, hey, guess what? I actually did just buy it. So, and then the worst thing happened to me. I made the mistake of on Google searching high-end collectibles. Brought me to Sideshow's website, and that's been that. But what I'm trying to say is what the moral of the story, what the moral of that story is I told myself only Hot Toys. I'm not going to buy statues. I'm not going to buy this. I'm not going to buy that. Only statues. Or only Hot Toys, I meant. And then I saw the Joker. And I go, okay, I'm only going to buy this one Joker. I think you guys can probably imagine how that went. I go... I had bought the Joker a couple days earlier. And I go, what's Joker without Batman? And I bought Batman to go with him. And then I had $1,200 just sitting there. And that's when I saw Superman and Darkseid. The statues I sold, I no longer have. And I go, and I bought both of them together. And then the real leap. The down the rabbit hole leap. I bought Deathstroke PF. And Chris, this was early on Batman Statue Collector. I was very early on, comes up with a video. I actually did videos before he did. Fun fact. But he came out with a video that says this Deathstroke I hate. That wasn't the title of the video, but that was the moral of the thing. And I go, yeah, he's actually not great. I love Deathstroke. He's like him and Darkseid are my two favorite villains. And this sucker was available. I go up to the same buddy who tempted me to buy that loser, and I hold my phone out and I press buy this Deathstroke in front of him. Joe, which is his name, almost lost it. Do you just fucking spend $1,000? I'm like, yeah. So that's what happened to me. I told myself I'm only going to get this, that, blah, blah, blah. It didn't work out quite that way. And then, fun fact, then I decided to go all out on PFs. Okay. I purchased the original Wonder Woman PF. I purchased all this, all that, like with things down the line. And I ordered Batwoman, all of those, and then I saw the new 52. They had already been out available to order for a while, and I decided to cancel all of those, sell my Dorkside, sell my Superman, and go do that. That's my line. My line is this. So that's why I'm getting the Green Arrow to go with that line, because of course the new 52 won't have a Green Arrow. They won't have an Aquaman either. Don't get me started on that shit. But so that's my main focus right now. I'll wrap this video up by just talking about my collection a little bit. Again, that's my main line. I'm going to be getting some standalones, Lobo. I might get that Deathstroke. I don't know yet. I still got to wait. I still got to see what's up. I'm supposed to be moving soon. I got to wait to see how much room I have, if I have any. I'm supposed to, my sister who I'm moving in with says I'm going to have less space. And since I'm full right now in this room, that could be very interesting. But yeah, what's coming up on this channel, guys? I'm not getting any statues for a little while. Thanos comes in May. Oh, sorry, Thanos comes sometime in April. I'm getting several PFs next. Poison Ivy is my next one, followed by Green Arrow. After that, you have Catwoman, and after that, you have all the Prime 1, New 52, and Lobo. So yeah, those are all my statues I have on order right now. I don't believe I missed any out. I have the Wonder Woman, Batman, New 52, Lobo, Poison Ivy, Green Arrow, and Catwoman. So those are all my statues I have on pre-order right now. I'm probably not getting any more. I know I'm not going to get any more Hot Toys unless it's their name rhymes with Mira or Black Manta or Shazam. So I get DC, as you guys can probably tell, I get DC movie statues. I already have the Aquaman on order. And so that's what's going on in my collection. Again, I will do chats, previews. I've been trying to get better at doing previews earlier, because the earlier, the more views I get. So that's why I've been trying to do that as much as I can. I know this has been really long, guys. If you stuck with me this whole time, all I can say is thank you. I'm just trying to build subscribers, so please subscribe, please like, please share, do all that good shit. Comment. I like everyone's comments. If you ask me a question, I'll probably answer it depending on the question. I don't know what the question will be. Anything about my collection, let me know. Anyone interested in buying that stupid Aquaman, let me know. I might keep him so I can have a PF with my new 52 Aquaman, whatever. Who knows? I might figure some shit out eventually, but who knows? This has been an MVP Collectables chat, guys. Very long. Just talking about random shit. If you're new to collecting, I gave some pointers, things that I kind of take hold of. So yeah, guys, please like, share, subscribe, do all that good shit. Until my next video, guys. Bye-bye.